Wasn't that some fantastic Wireshark goodness? Well, here we are at the end of the skill. Let's see if you grab some of the key points that we discussed. Question 1. The first 6 characters of a source MAC address represents the blank who owns that group of MAC addresses. Answer is B, the vendor. Typically, a vendor will go buy a group of MAC addresses and they will have the first 6 characters assigned to them, and then they use the last 6 characters to generate their unique addresses for their equipment that they manufacture. In Wireshark, it will often identify those vendors by name because it has access to the database of vendor to MAC address mappings. So in the quick summary output, you'll see the name of the vendor, such as Dell, and then the last 6 characters of that unique MAC address listed. Question 2. Blank is often used for stimulus response style communication, such as DNS. Answer is UDP. C. UDP is an unreliable protocol by nature. It's great for streaming and things that are real time, and also for protocols that have a built-in stimulus response check. That is, if DNS sends a DNS request, there's a built-in application layer function that says, okay, if I don't hear back in X amount of time, then I'm going to resend that same request. If you use TCP, the protocol itself takes care of that function for you. Question 3. Which of the following is an industry standard protocol used to identify devices directly connected in a network environment? Answer is A, the Link Layer Discovery Protocol. This is actually the successor of Cisco's original creation, CDP, which was tied only to Cisco for quite some time. They actually ratified it to be an industry standard so others could use it, but the industry is all running to go after a vendor-in-specific protocol such as LLDP. Question 4. What type of message is an ARP? Answer is C. It is a broadcast message, at least in the IPv4 world. In IPv6, it will actually migrate over to a multicast, but as it stands right now, it is a broadcast that goes to all devices connected to the network, trying to do an address resolution protocol request to figure out what IP address to MAC address mapping there is. You'll see a ton of these messages anytime you open Wireshark because it's just ambient network traffic going around the network constantly. Question 5. If you want to filter down to just DHCP packets in Wireshark, what filter construct can you use? Believe it or not, Wireshark makes it very simple in this level. You can just type in DHCP in the filter and bam, it will automatically filter down to just the DHCP packets. All of these others will produce syntax errors, but just for the record, port 53, at least in the UDP world, is assigned to DNS, not DHCP. Question 6. What command line utility can you use to test DNS server functionality? Answer is D, NS lookup. A DNS server being down often leads people to think the entire network is down because we so often look for things by names rather than IP addresses. So simply open up a command prompt. You can do that by hitting start run cmd, which is one of the wrong answers. Once into that command prompt, then type in NS lookup, and that will put you into a query mode where you're going to speak to your server directly. Now, there's a whole command set that you can use under that, but the easiest one is just to start typing in domain names. Domain.com, and it will test on your DNS server and tell you if it's actually working. Question 7. What port number does Telnet use? The answer is actually D, TCP port 23. One of the things you'll find when you get into the Wireshark world is a good knowledge of the default port numbers. Things like 22 is SSH, 23 is Telnet, port 80 is HTTP, 443 is HTTPS, port 110 is POP3. You know, all of these different ones. Port 25 SMTP. It's almost like a pop quiz right now. Just getting used to those and getting a general knowledge of really common port numbers can be handy when you're using Wireshark in any network application. Well, that's it. I hope you are now off to the races with Wireshark because this is literally the starting gun. You can now start running and using Wireshark as a tool, which was my whole goal for this skill, just to get you started in Wireshark. Now, The learning is all yours. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.